Good evening. I'm Rosemary Santoro, and together we've served as co-presidents of the RB Patrons Council for the last 2 years. Patrons Council is a 501c organization comprised of parents and teachers who, together with the administration, work to support and enhance the educational experience of Riverside Brookfield High School students. We have diversified our board, and we now have board members from Riverside, North Riverside, LaGrange Park, and Brookfield. This gives us the experience and perspective brought to RB from all the feeder schools. We hold monthly meetings, and attendance varies from 12 to 30 people. Pam Bilesma comes to each meeting, and she gives her administrator update, and she's available to answer questions. The main source of funds for Patrons Council comes from our $25 family membership, which includes an RB family directory. This year we have about 340 families as registered members. Representatives of Patrons Council are present during all the days of registration to greet each family, invite them to join Patrons Council, answer questions they may have, and again, act as the face of RB. On the night of open house, parents pick up their family directories. Patrons Council presidents address the families of freshmen and invite the parents to become involved. We also provide the wonderful refreshments for all that are offered throughout the evening of open house. With recent budget cuts, we have worked closely with Pam Bilesma to help support the educational opportunities of our students. An important criteria in dispersing funds is the number of students who will benefit from the experience. This fall, Mrs. Bilesma knew that the field trip budget had been significantly reduced and met with department chairs to prioritize their trips, namely by the criteria that the out-of-class experience could not be replicated within the classroom. One such field trip was taken by AP biology students who were able to watch a heart surgery and ask live questions of the medical personnel. Patrons Council donated $4,000 for field trips this fall. Veterans Day has traditionally begun with breakfast prepared by RB Culinary Arts students for our visiting veterans. Patrons gave $250 to fund this breakfast, which was followed by a very dignified assembly attended by the entire student body. Veterans later go into classrooms to share their experiences with students. On Valentine's Day, we provided an appreciation luncheon for RB teachers and staff. Parents volunteered to serve food catered by Lalo's with desserts and sides prepared by the parents. It is an important way for Patrons Council, on behalf of parents, to express their sincere appreciation for the great things our RB teachers and staff do for our children. Patrons Council provided $500 of additional funding for a guest author event that would not have been possible without our support. Patrons Vice President Terry Marshall had the privilege of attending our guest author freshman assembly and discussion with M.T. Anderson. She then reported back to our membership of this unique opportunity for our students, who had been chosen to be part of a small group workshop with the author, and the students who created art pieces based on the author's writing. Many RB students are interested in pursuing careers working with children, yet some of those same young adults have had no recent direct experience working with children. Patrons donated $250 so child development students could have hands-on experience planning activities, supervising, and interacting with children of teachers ranging in age from 2 to 4 years old on Bring Your Child to Work Day. This week, students are taking PSAT tests. Patrons Council provided money for students to have a healthy snack during their testing break. Patrons Council parents will host the reception for seniors and their guests on Senior Awards Night, May 2nd. It is a beautiful evening that honors the efforts and accomplishments of our students over 4 years and gives families the opportunity to socialize together one last time before graduation. The Character Counts pillar of caring is important to Patrons Council as well. We have assisted with the Christmas collection of toys and clothing for children of Appalachia. Within our own RB community, we have coordinated meals and arranged carpools in times of hardship, illness, or death. Our contributions this year have totaled $8,450. Our new board that is coming into position in May include Kathy Louthan as president. Terry Marshall will be our vice president. Michelle Comet, secretary. And Sherry Sauer will serve again as our treasurer. We also have 7 board members at large that will be helping. We have gone from a board of 9 positions and reduced it down to 4. As everybody knows, it gets harder to get volunteers to come to meetings and to step up to take over offices. So we've had to scale back a little bit, and we're ready to go forward. Our parent volunteers and families that help and support the work of Patrons Council are greatly appreciated. Though few in number, these parents help provide extraordinary opportunities that enrich the educational experience of all RB students. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Rob.
As a former high school principal, I did the Patrons Council, and it took me some time to figure out their role within as a parent group. And most people will relate to them similar to your PTO or your PTA. But I know they've played an essential role in this school year. And every time I told Pam no on something because we don't have the money in the budget, she went to Patrons and they worked with Pam to come up with ways to fund some field trips and speakers. And so as a superintendent, I want to say thank you for what you've done for the 1,500 students here at RB, because I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I know that sometimes we don't get the accolades that you deserve. So to all the members of the Patrons and those parents that donate to the Patrons, I do appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any questions for the patrons?
Can I ask one quick one?
Sure.
Are you having your spring fundraiser? No.
No, most of our fundraising in the previous years have been donated towards the transportation for the prom, for the buses. And last year, as a board, we decided, we started hearing from a lot of the parents that, well, my son or daughter's not going to prom and they're not benefiting from that, and, you know, why should I come to the zoo auction? Or, you know, and luckily we had a lot of people that didn't have that attitude as well, that were very, very generous. But we kind of felt their comments needed to be looked at, and we met and talked with Mr. Passarella and Pam and raised the issue. And Mr. Passarella was kind enough to kind of take it under his wings and say, I think we can work something out. And we said that would definitely help with the burden of this large fundraising. And at the beginning of the school year, just based on the $25 registration for the directories that the families receive, we felt we had enough funds to distribute throughout the year, and that was our goal this year, was to kind of be able to serve the greater student body rather than just the 400 or 500 students and their guests that go to prom. So that's why the things that were listed in here that Rosemary read was definitely a different turn than what Patrons has really done in the past. So much of it was focused on those prom buses in May. And 2 years ago, when we had the big fundraiser, we were kind of scrambling to get some funds together because those buses were $8,000, $9,000 in cost. So this year, it was the onus was put on the school a little bit more, and we were able to focus in on some other general activities. So this year we didn't, but the new school board, or the new Patrons Council board will have to then see where we're at after school registration, what our funds look like, and then decide if they want to have a fundraiser going forward with the 2012-13 school year.
Any other questions for patrons?
Do you operate off of bylaws?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a website?
Our website is just a sidebar website off the schools as well.
Okay. And that's something you maintain within your organization?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're a 501c3?
Yes.
And you applied for that?
Yes.
Okay. I guess the separate address question, is that something that you're considering?
I don't know what the issue is about the separate address. We don't really do any mailings, or, you know, most parents do it like in our office if they drop something off. We have a cardboard box in the bottom of a cabinet where things are dropped.
In the mail room.
So we have not had posted, so I don't see the benefit of having an outside. It wouldn't benefit us Obviously, this year we did a lot of food things. We were kind of the hospitality group, so I don't feel that that would be, I'm not sure what the issue is with having a separate.
Okay.
Mail
Do you,
address.
are you guys involved in the scholarship process?
No.
Is that, you're out of
No.
that business
No.
now?
Right.
No.
Because of the number of people we've had involved, there has been a large scaling down of what we've been able to do. So this
Okay.
year, our focus was trying to help academically pick up some of the slack of things that had been cut and try to support the academics of as many students as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Is there any benefit that we, or the school allows the patrons to provide, like you heard the big discussion about for boosters, traditionally, if they bought a booster's pass, they could get into sporting events. Do we allow patrons to do anything?
What we offer is a family directory,
Right,
and that's the only perk
Okay.
that's offered with membership.
thank you.
Well, I just personally want to thank the patrons so much for collaborating with us. They were very open to coming through whenever I came and begged. $250 might sound like a meager amount of money, but it's the difference of hosting some of these events or not hosting them. And so every little bit helped immensely. And so I know our teachers, I know our students really thank you for that, and I'm sure the families do as well. So, look forward to, I hope you'll continue to be around. The two of you have been delightful to work with for these past 2 years. So thank you for all your service.
Thank
Thank
you.